Welcome back, everyone. So I am sitting here in a beautiful shady spot under a ponderosa pine tree in an open forest land area of northern Arizona. There's no one around, as you can see. It's just wide open. I took the Trail 125 here down some pretty sandy roads, and I wanted to come out here because I wanted to reflect a little bit on what all happened this past weekend. As you know, I'm taking on this monumental challenge of running 2 separate 100-mile trail races 3 weeks apart, and where you find me right now is right between them. So I did run the first of these 2 races last weekend. And if you don't want any of the reflection or detailed race or run reports, I'll give you the short version. I finished a little faster than I did the first time I ran it, and I had no major blowouts or issues. So overall, I would consider it a monumental success. So that's the short version. I'm sitting here, I've got my finisher's race shirt on, my Western States hat, my Western States buff. I mean, I'm just like a walking advertisement for the race right now. So one of the things that I wanted to show all of you first is what you get when you finish this race. As with many 100-milers, the coveted prize that we all run for, other than the glory, is a belt buckle. And so this is my belt buckle. This is the box that I got. And inside is my award. And as you can see, it's very shiny. It says 100 miles in 1 day. It's got my name on the back with the year. And I did check my 2017 buckle, and it also has my name and the year on the back. And so with that, I also brought this little baggie of things because I thought it was kind of interesting. As I was putting my buckle away, I stumbled across basically this stack of bibs, of bib numbers. And I realized just how much I had done to train for this. So this is my actual race number from the race itself, Western States. But then just like all the races that I did, I'm not going to go through them all, but you can see there's a whole stack of races. I looked at my racing calendar, and I basically did 10 separate full-length races, most of which were ultra-length, meaning they were more than a marathon in distance, leading up to this event. And so what does that mean? Well, it means that while I was out there this past weekend, I could tell. I mean, I was certainly tired a lot just from, you know, all the training, but I was also fit. I felt like adequately trained. I wasn't overtrained. I wasn't trained for some ridiculously fast time, but I was trained to be able to finish and finish comfortably. And so I think my training plan, I don't have a coach or anything. I don't really follow a strict training plan. Was good. Could it have been better? Probably. But given where I am in my life, and I'm kind of on the back side of doing these sorts of ultra runs, just getting out there and having a good day and running well is usually enough for me. I'm not so worried so much about times anymore. So yeah, it was that all made me very happy. Let's spend a minute talking about the snow. So up top we had probably about 10 to 15 miles of just constant snow. Now the good news is it was morning, so it was hard, so you could basically run on top of it, but that doesn't mean I wasn't sliding and slipping all over the place. There's a lot of glissading, a lot of where you have to kind of ski down on your shoes or sit down on your butt and slide down, and a lot of people were wiping out. I'm pretty good on snow, so I did okay in that section, but I saw a lot of people just absolutely uncoordinated and having zero skill whatsoever on the snow. I mean, I passed some elite runners that I had no business passing just because they couldn't handle the snow. So that was interesting, but it definitely slowed us down. But eventually at mile 30, you hit Robinson Flat aid station, and from the moment you left that aid station, you never saw another pile of snow. And so those of us who made it to Robinson Flat before the cutoff had a pretty good chance of finishing as long as there was no other major blowouts. And what added to that success rate, we had a very high finisher rate this year, was that the weather, the temperatures were so pleasant. There's a section in the middle of the trail, in the middle of the race, from mile like 40-ish to mile 60-ish, where you go down and up 3 separate canyons, and each canyon is, 1,600 feet down, or 1,800 feet down, and 1,800 feet back up, or 2,000 feet down, and really difficult sections. And normally those canyons get over 100 degrees. And the temperatures never got over 80, low 80s, maybe 85. So it was still definitely warm, but it was absolutely delightful compared to when I ran it in 2017. So I was able to run and climb consistently in those sections without any major, horrific cramping or fatigue. I just was able to keep moving. And so at the end of the day, I made it to mile 62, which is sort of the really big milestone aid station of the course. It's the 100K mark, and that's where you pick up your pacers, and that's also when you finish the canyons. From mile 62 on, the race is so much more forgiving, so many less climbs, much more runnable, much more easy, and it's also getting to be nighttime, so it's just everything works in your favor. Now in 2017, I made it to Foresthill right at the moment I needed to turn my headlamp on. So it was maybe 20 to 30 minutes after sunset that I made it to Foresthill. And I had this kind of mantra in my head this year of I want to make it to Foresthill at least that same time, if not sooner. And I essentially made it to Foresthill right at sunset this year. So I was about 20 minutes ahead of where I was in 2017. And that felt really good. I picked up my pacer, a woman I work with here at the university, who's also an ultra runner, offered to pace me all 38 miles to the finish. So I picked her up at mile 62 and we set off, and the rest of the race went magnificently. I mean, it was so delightful to have company, to have cooler night temperatures, to be done with all the climbs, and to just enjoy the beautiful trails. We were also much lower in elevation at this point, and it was just wonderful. So by the time we got to the river crossing at mile 78, by that point I was about 30 minutes ahead of my time from 2017, and it just kept getting better. And there's a lot I'm leaving out, but I don't want to bore you. We crossed the river. We had to be boated across the river this year because the water levels were so high. And we got up to the other side and we continued running. And I started doing the math on my watch, and I was toying with the idea of trying to break 27. I wanted to come in under 27 hours. My time in 2017 was 27:52. And I was hoping to come in under 27, so 52 minutes faster. And so I basically started running a lot faster in the last 5 miles. I really picked up my pace to try and eke in under that 27-hour mark. And it looked like I was gonna do it for a while, but then when I hit, there's a small footbridge at mile 97.
Yeah. 3 more miles, baby.
And I realized I still had 3 miles to go, and the math, was something like I would have to run 3 8-minute miles, with 97 miles on my legs. And uphill. I was like, there's just no way I'm gonna be able to do it. And I ended up finishing in 27:04 something, which still felt really good to know that I was almost 50 minutes faster than my previous run. I'm happy. My A goal was to finish. My B goal was to try and break my time from last time, and my I guess I should say my primary goal was to not do anything stupid and injure myself. And the best part is here it is Wednesday, so just 4 or 5 days after the run, and I am nearly back to 100%. My legs feel amazing. I feel like I could go for a run tonight, and I'm very hopeful for Hard Rock. And I'm very sort of proud of myself that I didn't do anything stupid or didn't push myself too hard, because there were definitely many times where I was tempted to kind of open up a bit, and maybe I could have, I don't know. But I'm glad I didn't, because I think I would have regretted that decision, and I think I would have put myself in a much more, I would have needed much more recovery time. The other good news was I didn't have any falls. I didn't trip at all. In 100.2 miles, I didn't fall a single time, except for a couple of times kind of sideways on the snowbanks, but it was on the soft snow, so I didn't damage anything. But I didn't fall any time on the trail or trip on any rocks. Have any major wipeouts. So that's it. Great success. I'm very happy that it all went according to plan. That doesn't always happen, and who knows what's gonna happen at Hard Rock. I think I just need to go in with a positive attitude, and I'm so excited to be back with my Hard Rock family. And I'm sad that I won't be running the aid station this year, but I know the person now who's running it, and it's in good hands with them. So today is just all about enjoying this. And look at this. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. With that positive little update, I'm gonna sign off, and I'm gonna go and work at the coffee shop in my goofy Hawaiian finisher shirt, because I earned this shirt, baby. Good times. Thanks so much, everybody. I'm gonna sign off. Sorry this was all just me blabbing, and I'm gonna go play a little bit more on the Honda before going back to work. So, see y'all.
Diverge. In a time of 27:07, John Almeida. In a time of 27:07, at the same time,